There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
Farnsworth?
The usual, sir.
Regular here. Wake up, get up there. Raise your voice.
This video has taken me a couple of months, like 6 months just to define immersion. And it's kind of weird, but when I think about it, immersion is hard to define. To be immersed in something, to really believe the rules of that universe is hard. There's places that are literally built to make you feel immersed. And so much goes into making you feel immersed into something, like the ambience, the vibe. But what gets me is the soundtrack. See, a soundtrack or a piece of music can achieve a lot. It can move someone to tears or make someone reminisce. It makes a scene or a scenario have that much of an impact. And in animations, it's so easy to see. It's almost clear in movies like Frozen or WALL-E. But what about games? See, I'd argue in games, a soundtrack does so much more than it does in a movie, because you're actually in control. Every action you've made is encapsulated in the instruments that play around you. You're fully immersed into that character due to the actions you've made. But all games use different methods to achieve this. Some games tell stories with their soundtracks, giving their characters a voice without them ever having to speak, allowing the player to take in their own rendition of what they believe. Others build tension subconsciously, increasing or decreasing the pace of the player depending on what happens in the scene. In this video, I wanted to delve into my favorite songs or soundtracks and describe them, try to pick them apart or something like that. But I realized that didn't really work. So instead, I just wanted to go through a couple of scenes and explain how these scenes resonated with me. So in this video, I'm going to go through 3 different moments in 3 different games and try to explain them the best way I could and explain how they resonated with me through tension building or the instruments that play in the background or even the lyrics. So, yeesh. To define my favorite form of immersion, I'm gonna go through part by part, like what type of soundtracks I basically like. But it's more like just delve into scenes that I like from games that I've played. So that's The Witcher 3, Persona 5, and Final Fantasy 7. And you know, just enjoy myself. So, boom.
5 minutes. That's how long you have. This planet is still going to blow. The core has been completely disintegrated.
Redneck families think they can ruin us? I don't think so.
In Red Dead 2, we see a pure example of tension building.
There they are.
The footsteps,
Who
the
steals
characters
a
speaking,
goddamn boy?
it all contributes to that immersion.
I'm gonna let fly
For a
until
minute or
some
so, the
bitches.
player's being controlled by the
John,
game,
I need you
by
to
what's
stay
happening,
calm.
by the soundtrack that plays in the background. And the tension gets higher and higher, that the lack of sound is sound in
Get
itself.
down here now, you inbred trash!
What the hell do you want?
The player is now controlled by the scene that is playing.
Easy, John.
So,
We've come for the boy. You must have known we would.
Shouldn't have messed with our business now, should you?
Whatever complaint you have with us, alleged or otherwise, that is a young boy. That is not the way you do things. Hand him over.
Get the hell off our land!
and as the tension reaches its peak, the sounds begin to leave the scene, and instead, the player just awaits something. A gun being drawn, or a loud noise, something to kill the silence.
If you ain't gonna be civilized about this.
He's telling words not to be told. I need the mask. Woo! I'm a
This game is Persona 5, a turn-based RPG made in 2013, I think. And the song that is playing right now is Beneath the Mask. I believe Beneath the Mask fully captivates the vibe Persona 5 gives off. This warm, jazz-like, saddening yet mysterious feeling you get when you hear the lyrics. The way it relates to the main character and plays every single time the character has time to himself. The feeling of isolation as you feel as if you're wearing the mask yourself, hiding who you truly are in the game. A persona is being worn by both the character and the player. The player is forced to hide their identity in game, and thus the player is wearing a mask themselves, manipulating every confidant they meet by hiding the truth. You understand the main character without a word being said. It fully encapsulates the feeling of hiding from the world. But as I delve into the lyrics, I understand this feeling more and more. It's as if the lyrics are directly connecting to the player every time the player hears the song, or explaining who Joker's character is more and more to the player. Because this feeling of wearing a persona, of carrying a mask that is a burden in its own self, is fully shown to the player, and we see a new perspective, the perspective of over-reliance on carrying personas, carrying different personalities, carrying different masks.
A mirror right in front of me, that's where I found. An empty glass, reflecting that's a truth. It's telling words not to be told. I need that mask.
Now my depiction of those lyrics give off that sad truth of hiding who you really are to fit in, the mask being one of those many personas that you carry, giving Joker even a larger backstory than he already has. An amazing song for an amazing game. What a vibe, boy! My gosh, have you heard that goddamn soundtrack every single fucking time this shit comes on? My days!
I'd like to sing a song I've always known, but never really understood, until now.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow.
What happened on that island? Why I shiver at the thought. And the laboratory. I sincerely hope you burnt everything. The cages, the corpses, the papers.
Alright, let's get down to business.
What are you talking about?
Sex. That's why we're here, isn't it?
Now, for this one to be truly understood, I need to give a bit of backstory. So I'm going back to 2015. I'm 15 years old and I just got a PS4. All I got on my PS4 is FIFA and Watch Dogs. There's a new game coming to the PS4 called The Witcher 3. See, I've never heard of The Witcher, but I want to play an RPG. They say it's 100 hours long, choice-based, yada yada, side quests. All I saw was sword combat, spells, and amazing graphics. And I played Skyrim before, and I played Fallout before, and I love the atmosphere of both games, that feeling of choice-based stuff and being able to control your own destiny. But I always wanted a more focused story or a narrative, so I purchased The Witcher. When I boot up the game for the first time, I hear witches don't have emotions, they're mutants. So I really thought, damn, witches don't have emotions, okay. Geralt said witches are neutral beings who don't take sides, that's why they're emotionless. So again, I really thought they got no emotion, okay. See, this thought process changed in a certain scene where I began to understand that Geralt's character is not what he gives off in his speech, and that his actions differ a lot from his actual character that's inside his heart and his soul. Ooh.
some house rests. Should start soon.
It's in this scene that I fully began to understand Geralt's character. I understood that this is a character that's been through a lot, that he hides his emotions, not because he has none, but because as he's a mutant, he must hide his emotions. And yet Geralt doesn't speak a single word here. Instead, his thoughts and emotions are conveyed through a different character. A character that we've never seen before, in fact. And at first, to me, it seemed confusing, because I thought, was Geralt getting emotional due to the story being, I don't know, emotional to him? Or was Geralt getting emotional because the story is literally his story? And obviously, the song itself answers that for you. I began to understand that this is Geralt speaking to his lover, who he's been searching for since the game began, her scent lingering in his mind. And even though he's found her, they have to separate again, their love fleeting every time.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars are. Rend my heart open, then your love profess. A winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. You my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream, raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm, to find your heart, its passion displaced by our.
This song helped me understand Geralt's real character, that he has real emotions, real pain, real love, that he must conceal for his own livelihood, and the only way he can show his love outwardly is through somebody else. If Geralt said these emotions himself, nobody would listen. He's a freak. But when Geralt's emotions are placed somewhere else, it's enough to move even the king of beggars, even a noble, even a peasant.
Dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent.
This song humanizes Geralt, not only to the people in the tavern, but also to the player. The player can now understand that Geralt has pure hurt inside his heart, hurt that's strong enough to move anybody at just a simple listen.
Though you didn't want to lose her, Geralt, you will.
He already has.
Thank you for watching this video. It took way longer than I expected, but I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, listen to Beneath the Mask, and I'm out. Okay. Woo, woo, woo.